According to sad statistics, cancer is the second leading cause of death in the world. Almost every 6 lives are interrupted because of cancer. Blood cancer occupies a special place because in order to defeat this disease, bone marrow transplants are necessary. But unfortunately, it is often difficult to find donors. Today, I will share with you an incredible story. I'm sure that it will touch you to the core. Oscar Saxelbelly is a 5-year-old boy who, despite his young age, already looked into the eyes of death. A couple of years ago, he was full of energy and cheerful, dreaming of becoming a firefighter when he grows up. But now, Oscar's dreams have changed. Now he just wants to be healthy. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. The boy got sick on Christmas Eve. His parents thought the child was anemic, but they didn't want to risk and went to the doctor for a checkup. At the hospital, they got worried because they noticed blue spots on his body. Many tests were taken. As a result, his parents, 23-year-old Olivia and 26-year-old Jamie Lee, were told by doctors that Oscar had a terrible disease, acute lymphoblastic leukosis. That day, their lives were divided into before and after. This form of cancer is very aggressive, but despite the despair, Oscar's parents were not going to give up and accepted the challenge of fighting for their son's life. His treatment took place at Birmingham Children's Hospital, where Oscar underwent a 4-week course of chemotherapy and 20 blood transfusions. But that was only the beginning, because only a bone marrow transplant could completely cure the disease. For the boy's parents, the world changed in an instant. But when they saw Oscar's smile, they pulled themselves together and moved on. Oscar reminded them to fight, and he himself never showed weakness during his treatment and acted like a real fighter. After it turned out that his parents and relatives couldn't be donors, Olivia and Jamie started a campaign hand in hand for Oscar. Finding the right donor is very difficult. About 1 in 10,000 people turn out to be genetically compatible. Time was not playing in the boy's favor, and doctors predicted that a donor had to be found within just 3 months. This is taking into consideration the fact that some patients wait for several years. The main problem was finding a donor. The parents were desperate and didn't know what to do, but at the same time, they jumped at any chance, even the most impossible. They didn't know that their story would win the hearts of millions. They reached out to the public through social media with a cry from their hearts to save their son. What happened was something no one had ever seen before. It was a cold and rainy summer day. Oscar's parents rushed to the appointed place where they called on all people who cared and who wanted to and could help the boy. They hoped to see at least 10 or 20 people. After all, everyone has their own things to do and care about. Unfortunately, people are too passive in such matters. When the parents drove up to the school, what they saw shocked them. There were a huge number of people standing near the main entrance to the school. It was more like a rock star concert. The whole surrounding area was occupied by strangers they had never seen before. Many were just standing alone, waiting their turn. Some were playing on their phones. Some were dealing with important issues. There were so many people that it was hard to get to the main entrance. There were young students and older people and even important people in expensive suits with luxury cars. All of them came to support the child by dropping everything they had to do. Even the rain didn't stop people. They stood in the rain for hours to see if their blood would be good for the baby. It's hard to believe, but 4,855 people showed up, and they were all willing to be donors. Later, representatives from DKMS, a blood cancer charity, said the highest turnout of potential donors before that was 2,200. But to save Oscar's life, twice as many came. They had never seen such a massive desire to be a donor. For such a large event, not only potential donors were needed, but also volunteers. Right there, about 100 people volunteered to help. They filled out registration forms and collected mouth swabs, helped form the line, and supported everyone who came. Seeing this incredible picture, it wasn't just the parents who cried. A week later, another similar event was held at the University of Worcester, and this time 1,000 potential donors showed up. Students from St. Edward's School who were 13 to 15 years old also volunteered to help, but since they could not be donors because of their age, they just kept watch and spread the word about the help they needed. Nearly 6,000 people donated material. But the question was there a suitable donor among them? Yes! Soon enough, the transplant was performed and all went well. Later, tests showed that the cancer had receded. Unfortunately, a year later, the disease returned. Doctors said that it was too early to do a second transplant because not much time had passed since the last one, but the parents' persistence and the large number of people who cared about the disease paid off. The family had been invited to a clinic in Singapore, and after learning about such a sensational story, they were offered to try cell therapy. Wasting no time, the parents brought Oscar to Singapore for the therapy. Soon the treatment was successful and the boy began to recover. We're a long way from a full recovery, but we're happy that our child is getting better, Mama Olivia said. The family is grateful to all those who on one of their weekends did not decide to spend it as usual, but came to help the baby, creating publicity about which all clinics of the world know, and only thanks to these people, Oscar is recovering. Sometimes, a life of a stranger may depend only on us, and the question is, would we stay aside, or would we do the same as those who came to support an unknown boy? Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Don't be indifferent and be kind to everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.